Hello everyone, I'm Sean McGovern. I'm the Director of Allied Health Services here at St Vincent's Private Hospital, Sydney. Welcome to the first edition of Health Hub Live. Here at St Vincent's Private Hospital, we're here to support you with health and wellbeing content during the coronavirus pandemic. Many of you are at home, so streaming health and wellness content to you will come to you at 12:30 each day. To kick all this off, I'd like to introduce you to Jasmine Lee, who's one of our physiotherapists here at St Vincent's Private Hospital.
Thanks, Sean. As Sean introduced you to, my name is Jasmine. I'm one of the physiotherapists here. Today we're going to do a video just on some basic stretches and exercises that you can do from your chair, just to prevent stiffness and soreness in joints and muscles. Just as a bit of a disclaimer, this video and information is general in nature. If you have specific concerns or need specific medical advice, you should always contact your relevant healthcare provider, so whether that's your referring GP or your local physiotherapists. We'll get started. Let's talk about sitting posture to begin with, and what's really important about sitting posture. If you're sitting at your desk or completing work, you need to be mindful of the position that your chair is in relation to the desk, but also in relation to the floor. So if you do have a desk chair, making sure that you elevate or lower the seat to the appropriate height so that your knees are at a 90-degree angle and your feet are nice and flat on the floor. The next thing to be mindful of is what the height of the desk is in relation to you. So just making sure that if you're working at a computer, the table is sitting comfortably at the appropriate height. If you're using a computer with a monitor, making sure that it's at eye level so you're not having to look up or look down. For people working on a laptop, often you do end up poked-necked and sitting forward and looking down. Sometimes sitting the laptop on a couple of books or something to make it at an appropriate height and using an external mouse and keyboard can give you a little bit more comfort. The other thing to be mindful of when you're sitting is just the posture of your body on the chair, making sure that the weight is even through your bottom and sitting nice and supported. For a lot of people that experience back pain, sometimes using something as simple as a rolled towel in the small of your back can prove to give you quite a lot of comfort. So here's a rolled towel here, just placing it in the small of my back, and then as I lean back against the chair, that natural curve in my back is maintained and helps to offload those muscles and give them a bit of relaxation to reduce pain. We might run through the program of stretches and exercises now. We're going to start just talking about the different areas that we'll be working on. Sitting primarily causes pain at the neck, can cause pain at the thoracic spine or the upper back, can cause pain at the lumbar spine or the lower back, and often results in a lot of tightness through the front of the hips. So these are the areas that we're going to be addressing today. Let's start with the program. You can follow along with me if you feel comfortable, but let's start with our head here. What we're going to do is just gently turn our head all the way around to one side, just going as far as feels comfortable, holding for a second, and then rotating around to the other side, holding for a second. We'll come back to that first side now, twisting as far as feels comfortable, and then back around to the other side there, and then we're coming back to center. The next one we're going to do is just looking down at our chest, just stretching through the back of the neck there, and then slowly looking up towards the roof, just lifting your face to the ceiling and just going as far as feels comfortable. Again, down to the chest, just to stretch the back of the neck, and then coming up, face to ceiling, nice stretch through the front of the neck there. Very good. Then looking straight ahead back to center. The next exercise we're going to do is to try and drop our ear down towards our shoulder. So just tilting the head, just to get a nice stretch through the opposite side of the neck. Holding for a second, back to the middle, tilting down to the opposite side, back to the middle. To make this exercise a little bit more intense or a bit more of a stretch through the side of the neck, drop the ear down to the shoulder and then use the opposite hand just to apply light pressure to the top of the head. Hold for a second, back to the middle, and then we go opposite side as well. Just a gentle stretch there. We might try that one more time. Left ear to left shoulder and left hand gently pulling on the top of the head. And then on the opposite side, right ear to right shoulder, gently pulling on the top of the head. Well done. Back to the middle. The next exercise we're going to do we refer to as a chin tuck or a chin retraction. This exercise is incredibly important for anyone that does work on a computer or spends time reading. We all tend to end up a bit poked, so our head's sitting too far over the top of our shoulders. So we're going to do an exercise to bring ourselves back to center. The goal is to keep your eyes at the same level, but just to draw your chin back over your shoulders, hold for a second, and then relax forward. Again, drawing our chin back, and then coming forward. Again, coming backwards, holding for a second, and forward. And we'll try one more, drawing that chin and head back over the shoulders, holding for a second, and then coming forward. We might move down, further down to the thoracic spine or the upper back for some exercises there now. The first one we're going to start with is just by placing your hand on each shoulder and just drawing some circles with your elbows. Start by turning backwards. You might notice a few clicks and creaks here and there. Just some nice wide circles with the elbows there. And then we're going to come the opposite way, rolling forward. Well done. Marvelous. The next one we're going to do, if we lace our fingers together, we're going to turn our palms out and forward. And you might find that you just want to drop your head a little bit here. Just have a nice big breath in and out. Well done. Pushing a little bit further if you feel comfortable. Big breath in and out. Well done. The next one we're going to do is a rotation. You may find that you want to put your hands over your chest and turn, or if you have an arm or a back of the chair, you can bring your arm around, turning to one side. Have a nice big breath in here, and on that exhale, just see if you can twist any deeper into that rotation. Hold for a moment, and then we return to center, and then we do the other side. Big breath in, breathing out, turning around, holding for a second, and returning back to the middle. Very good. The next one we're going to do, if you lace your fingers together, place it behind your head. We're going to do a bit of work to open through the chest and loosen up through the back. What's quite important with this exercise is that you don't let your hands pull your head forward. So lacing our fingers together, placing them behind our head, just gently pressing our head back into our hands, and we're going to push our elbows outwards to create a nice open chest. Seeing if you have a nice big breath in here, and out, and again, big breath in, and out. Very good, and then just relaxing. And then we're going to try the same thing again, but we're going to add a tilt as well. So pressing our elbows out, our head is softly pushing back against our fingers. We're going to turn so our right elbow drops down to the floor, and then back to the middle, and the left elbow is dropping down to the floor, and back to the middle. Remembering to keep the elbows nice and far out, the chest is open. Again, down to the right, back to the middle, and down to the left, and back to the middle. Very good. We're going to move on to some exercises for the lumbar spine or the lower back now. What you're going to try and do is what we refer to as a pelvic tilt. So you're going to try and rock backwards so that your lower back touches the back of the chair, and then rock forwards to arch the back so that we're creating motion in the segments of the spine down in the lower back. Rocking back, rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward. Try a couple more. Rocking back, rocking forward. And last one, rocking back and rocking forward. Very good. Often we find that the muscles around the bottom or the front of the hips start to get quite tight with sitting as well. So we're going to shuffle forward on the chair a small amount, seeing if we can raise our knee up and just gently drawing it into our chest while lifting our head and our shoulders back. Holding for a second, coming down, and then the opposite leg, catching the knee, drawing it in towards the chest, holding for a second, and then back down. We'll try one more on each side, drawing in towards the chest, holding for a moment, and then back down, and then the opposite leg, drawing in towards the chest, and then back down. Beautiful. The last exercise we're going to do is to open through the front of the hip. This exercise is quite good for those who sit a lot, or particularly for runners or other people that are quite active. Often the front of those hip muscles get quite tight. What you're going to do is place one of your ankles on top of your opposite knee, and then just gently press down on that top knee just to create a nice bit of stretch. You should only push to the point that feels comfortable and not causing any pain. Hold for a few seconds, and then we'll relax, and we're going to swap legs. Pressing down on that top knee, holding for a few seconds, and then relax, and we'll try once more on each side. Ankle over knee, pressing that knee gently down into the floor, holding for a few seconds, and then we will swap legs, pressing down. Perfect. It's a nice little routine that you can run through just to do a head to toe kind of scan of the muscles that are tight and stiff and sore, and a few simple easy exercises to do from your chair at home, just to make sure that you aren't feeling any discomfort if you're spending more time sitting on the couch or reading books or at your computer at the moment. Just a few strategies to help keep you comfortable and keep your body happy. That's kind of everything for today. If you had any questions, Sean and I will be available to answer them in the comments after this stream is finished.
And thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to you joining us again tomorrow.